Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for educations and technology. So after I share the first questions and answer of the Shaolin Short Strike Classic, which is on the reuse or recycle of momentum, or the return of the intention, I got many questions from our Wing Chun friends, and I got many messages asked me to elaborate more, and many of our friends want to see how is it looks like. That's why I share on, if you look at Mike Tyson, then you can see it. The link is under the previous video. Now today I'd like to share with you more in depth so you know exactly what it is. This is really critical because you see that is the first Q&A, questions and answer of the Shaolin Short Strike book. Okay, that's the first one here. Now it is the first one because it is the basic. It is the most fundamental thing what need to know. Why? Why do we need to know this recycle or reuse of momentum or return of the intention, so forth? Because at every move we make, every single move, we need that. If we don't handle that, we are not able to handle that, or we are not aware of that, then it is disaster. So with the Shaolin Short Strike canon, we know the bottom line is the handling of momentum. It is not the structure, holding a structure, or fudging like the demonstrations, or the mind power or mindfulness stuff. It is, can we move without causing ourselves problem? And if we cannot move, make a move without causing ourselves problem, our body knows. And that's why whatever we do cannot pass the test under pressure, because the body knows that it cannot be handled properly. So if we want to know the recycle, the reuse of momentum, we need to go down to see what happened. So we need to know the handling of background momentum. Okay, background momentum is whatever momentum we have in our body and the outside, meaning the momentum the opponent give it to us, and also or we face from what our opponent do, or our own systems, inner systems momentum, like a car. Okay, the handling of the wheels, the handlings of the transmissions, all those stuff, and the handlings of the road conditions. So the background momentum, you need to know that all type of different momentum which exists when you make the first move, or when you make any single move. If we don't know that, don't aware of this, cannot identify it, we have no way to handling it. And if we cannot handle it, it will end up at high speed, it breaks apart. Now you guys all have experience, right? When you go thrust in you move into the opponent in the sparring or in the fight, your body break apart due to certain reason. For example, if you go straight, okay, and if the body, upper body is go faster than the lower body, then it breaks apart. That's one example. The second is overshoot. You go, if your upper body go move too fast, your footwork is not supporting it, you overshoot. And once you overshoot, people love it because they can take you down, or they can just turn directions and hook you out. Because you have already go overshoot. Your body is out of control. The third thing is inertial against the one's inertial momentum against oneself. For example, if I don't have this reuse of momentum, when I go overshoot, when the opponent is go sideways, sidestep, and I want to turn, well, at that time my body will, because this is at high speed, my body will break apart. My upper body can go overshoot. So it's like the Shaolin Q&A said, you know, when I go for full force, full power momentum, full speed momentum, my leg, my footwork is unstable. And it against each other, and it get into your body will break apart, and your opponent be able to make use of it. So all of this got to do with the background momentum, and is actually in the Wing Chun Matrix. Years ago, I already written that, okay, under the chapter of impulse momentum realization. The background momentum. Okay, so it is already there. That's why when I published this book, many of my friends left me because they thought that I go create my own stuff or taking some other style which I don't know, just copy them. In fact, it is not. I am presenting what is the teaching of the Shaolin canon, the short strike Shaolin canon, in this language. Who cares about Google to translate character by character? And as you see, many things translate character to character. Well, are you learning Chinese, or are you learning martial arts of the traditional Chinese martial arts? So that's why it's here already. Okay, so all those, the background, the basic you need to know is in this implementations, the impulse momentum realization chapter. And of course, as in this book, it mapped in today's physics. So you know that it is not some kinds of woo-woo stuff or whatever. It is your Shaolin short strike sit on top of physics. Okay. So in order to handle this, as in the Wing Chun Matrix books again, that is the 4 momentum handles. The 4 momentum handles. Because you need to handle your body like you need to handle your 4 wheels of the car. And then of course the 7 bowls and the breathing and the 6 core element, which is you can find in my other book, you know, beginning Wing Chun and the basic Wing Chun art and science. And of course another thing is breathing. Well, breathing is in the Wing Chun Matrix also. This is the 2C state, the breathing. So in Wing Chun Matrix book, actually it gives you the basic of this thing. Okay? And with the breathing, when I do the Wing Chun Inception, that further, that link to the H model. So whatever we do here, we can map into sports science today, and we can check with our heart rate, because we like it or not, like we training today, we need to check the heart rate. The guy who run, the guy who practice MMA and so forth, they need to check their heart rate variability and so forth. Even the guy who do fitness know that, oh, this is aerobic, this is anaerobic, you know, all those kind of stuff. I need to check my heart rate, okay, in sports. So this is entire thing there, just to solve that first Q&A. Okay, when you make a move, will you handle your footwork? And of course, in fighting, or you know, we want to use the play of impulse momentum instead of fighting, right? Fighting is too violent. In the handle of impulse momentum, of course the speed is really high speed. Of course, the footwork has to be able to handle. Look at the people, even like they play badminton, or badminton. You see how quick they have to do. They have to handle their body. Okay. So that is what it is. It is really down to earth, realistic, and pragmatic. It is not the structure, the fudging, the mind power. Well, you can sit there in your Yi Kamyama, have all your structure, but you don't know how to move. At the first move, you don't know how to handle your body momentum, your inertial momentum. How are you going to handle your the impulse momentum play? You can fudging demonstrations, like people usually show you, oh, you push me this way, I fudging this way. Well, wait a minute, is that high speed or just demonstrations? How come you not see any in any Thai boxing competition since 100 years ago that people do fudging? How come you don't see that in Kyokushin? How come you don't see that in Western boxing? How come you don't see it in BJJ? How come you don't see it today in the MMA? Why? Well, because those are just demo. Those are just a part of mechanics, and that is not the most critical. And that's why, again, the ancient internal art guy keeping talking about this fudging and everything. The Shaolin sword strike is pragmatic, down to the earth. You want to fight? Wait a minute. You first need to learn how to make the first move without screw yourself. If you cannot do that, forget about fighting. So what is the point standing in Xiu Lim Tao saying that I have this mind power, forward pressure, my spine straight and so forth? Can you make a first move? Again, this is not Hendrik said or questions or try to put down any lineage or any grandmaster. Hello. This is the Shaolin sword strike, the real deal presenting. Okay. So in the past 100 years, what are we doing? Not following this. If you want to fight, you better know how to move. It doesn't tell you about Tan Sao, Bong Sao, Fok Sao. chain punch. It tells you how to move first. Well, it is hopeless if you don't know how to move and you say, I want to punch and use this technique, that techniques. Because at the really basic, you don't have a body which you can move. Okay? So when I wrote this book, I call it Matrix. Why? It is like an environment, a platform, a world. You need to know what it is to play in that. If you don't know what it is and how to play, and you're keeping go on and on all this internal and all this magic stuff. You look at all this internal, did they talk to you about the breathing? And did they just go like checking their breathing like in this channel I show you on the SpO2 and the VO2 max? What? You all need this, right? You need all this to support this. And as again in the Wing Chun Matrix, it has presented the breathing. Okay, again that is the directly present how to say that, transfer the knowledge of breathing from the Shaolin sword strike canons. Okay, this say that the transportations of force or jing is based in breathing. The handling of breathing depends on the lower abs operations, and it show you in this book on how to get there, the breathing, the 2C state. So there's a reason why I said that all my books is a textbook. It is intended to stay because we need a new platform. And I'm not create anything. I just transfer the knowledge of the ancient Chinese into English. Like this book, how many Chinese be able to read this and understand what it is inside there? The answer is very minimum. Okay, because as in the Wing Chun Inceptions, I presented that since the beginning of 1900, when the Chinese using the modern Chinese language, people start to not understand what is in the past. Not to mention that is professional, professional terminology. So if one don't understand the classic Chinese, one don't have a teacher to explain what it is, there's no way one know what the heck is going on, while you and me can go Google and study the pinyin of how to pronounce the proper Chinese term. But what does it give you? We are talking about martial art. We are not talking about learning Chinese language. And be able to pronounce a Chinese term is good, but it got nothing to do with what is in there. That's why this Wing Chun Matrix is the first book. You took the whatever the technology, we say in the layman terms so that everybody can understand. So this is for you today. This first Q&A of the Shaolin Sword Strike Canon is extremely important because in post momentum play, you always need, and it's based on moving the body. And when you move the body, the background momentum is always there. If you never heard about it, you're never aware of it, you never know about it, you never train how to handle it, that means one really don't know how to handle even the first move. So one go random, bang, 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 do whatever, one thing, but one do not have the skill to handle that. Okay, so that's the first questions and answer of Shaolin Sword Strike. That's why it is really critical.